Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Harmon. Today I'm outside a town called Parkland, Washington. And again, this is not that far away from the last few videos. This is probably like 15 minutes or so from Tacoma. And then we're about 30 minutes or so southeast or south of Seattle. Today's video is all about a young 12-year-old girl who was killed on the roadway walking home from school. Anyway, let's get into the details of the case, and I'm going to show you guys up the road here where that happened. So this story starts January 15th, 2022. 12-year-old Immaculate Goldade and her friend Kathleen Olson, who was also 12, were walking home from school, most likely walking the same route I am. The school is right over there. So they most likely were walking down here. And again, right up the road, they were both struck by an out-of-control driver. Now, the man behind the wheel was named Terry Cole. He was 32 years old. And he had stolen a flatbed pickup truck, kind of like a landscaping vehicle, and he was high on meth. So of course he was not in his right mind at all. Now Terry immediately drove off. He did not stick around, most likely because he was driving a stolen pickup and he was high on drugs. So he immediately left the scene, leaving Immaculate and her friend lying and bleeding on the ground. Immaculate unfortunately died from her injuries. Her friend thankfully did survive. Now, surveillance footage thankfully put Terry behind the wheel, and so deputies were able to locate the stolen white truck he had been driving, and they were able to find him and arrest him. He was found guilty of a plethora of charges, including reckless vehicular homicide, reckless vehicular assault, failure to remain at an accident resulting in death, second-degree burglary, 2 counts of unlawful possession of a stolen vehicle, and first-degree unlawful possession of a firearm, and first-degree possession of stolen property. Now, he was found guilty of those crimes and ended up getting 40 years in prison. Now, we're on 104th Street East. Again, this is the main road where Immaculate and her friend were struck by the stolen truck. And again, it's literally like 2 blocks from the school. So they were walking from the school and Immaculate's house is right down the road. So it's probably like a 4-minute, 5-minute walk. Since they're so close to their house from school, I mean, her parents never in a million years would have thought that that she would have been ever hurt or killed by a car on this road. So that's again, it's just one of those unfortunate events. Thankfully, there is a little memorial here. This is exactly where she was struck and killed. I believe both Immaculate and her friend's bodies were kind of flown into this ditch. Now, I read some other articles that stated that both Immaculate and her friend were transported to the hospital, and I guess Immaculate ended up dying at the hospital. So she was able to live a little bit longer, but unfortunately succumbed to her injuries at the actual hospital. I do love that they actually have a little memorial here for her, as I feel like a lot of these events, like, people killed by cars, you know what I mean? Or, DUI victims or anything like that. I feel like a lot of those people, you know, wherever they were killed at, I feel like there's never, hardly ever, any memorial. So it is cool to see that they do have this for her, and especially since it happened literally right here. Now, about 2 weeks later, on January 31st, Immaculate's mother, named Amber, gave some testimony in front of the House Committee Safety, Justice, and Reentry Committee. Now, she was there to talk about, of course, Immaculate and what happened to her. And she was there also to talk about how she was in favor of a new bill called House Bill 1363, which would restore the ability of law enforcement to engage in vehicle pursuits. Now, if you don't know much about kind of some of the Washington criminal laws, or laws for police for that matter, recently, I think it was maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, a lot of the counties in Washington dropped the ability for officers to pursue vehicles. And the main reason why they did that was there was a lot of innocent bystanders who ended up getting killed by, you know, the fleeing vehicles that police were chasing. And so they decided to enact a bill that stated that most police in all these different counties would not be able to pursue fleeing, you know, criminal vehicles. And so because that law was in place, it is most likely that the officers were not able to pursue the stolen vehicle before it crashed into Immaculate and her friend. And so if that law was not there, Immaculate and her friend most likely could have been saved. That is exactly the frustrating part about some of these counties in Washington state, is the fact that they're not able to pursue these vehicles that are stolen. And so these criminals continue to get away with their crimes and continue, you know, doing other stuff, including running down 2 young girls who were just walking home from school. It just frustrates me. I'm guessing it frustrates you all as well. Part of me kind of understands why they put the law in place, as, you know, some innocent people were being killed by these fleeing vehicles, but I feel like some of these people, including Immaculate, I feel like their lives matter also. That law should be changed. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna head over to the cemetery and let's see and hope that I can find her grave. All right, guys, so I just made it to Woodbine Cemetery here in Puyallup, and this is supposedly where Immaculate is buried. However, on findagrave.com, it just lists this as where she's buried. It doesn't show exactly where. And this cemetery is absolutely massive. The office is closed, so I can't even ask anyone. I looked up on another website and I found some other family members with the same last name here at the same cemetery, so I went and I found those, but she's not buried next to them, and so it's possible that, you know, it's some other family that has the same last name, or maybe she's randomly buried somewhere else in this cemetery. Again, I did my best. I showed up here, searched around for a while. Yeah, unfortunately, I just can't find it. And if I lived closer to this area, I would come back tomorrow and, you know, talk to the office. I'm sure they would tell me exactly where it is, but I don't live anywhere near here, so I can't just come here, you know, all the time. So unfortunately, her memorial where she died, that's the best I can show you. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, I do appreciate you guys. I know sometimes I don't post as often as I should. It's just hard, you know, working full time, and I just don't have a lot of extra, you know, finances to be able to travel all the time right now, and I don't have that much time off of work to travel. So again, I'm trying my best. Thankfully, I filmed a lot of videos today, and I'm gonna try to get weekly uploads back up and running, because I know that you guys appreciate it, and I do too. It's fun. I like doing this. And so anyway, stick around, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Again, rest in peace to Immaculate.